Parolees may be sent back to state correction facilities.
People in New Haven swinging around Worcester Square. Why they're celebrating. Q30 News starts now.
Live from the Ed McMahon Center, this is the Q30 News Nightcast.
Good evening. Welcome to Q30 News. I'm Tony Fay.
And I'm Alysis Richardson. It's not every day a president of the United States comes to campus, but today Secret Service and police were everywhere as former President Jimmy Carter paid a visit to Quinnipiac. A full audience packed the rec center where Carter spoke about his views on nuclear proliferation. Carter accepted the first Albert Schweitzer Humanitarian Award.
Human rights throughout the world. Quinnipiac University is proud to present you with the Albert Schweitzer Humanitarian Award on this 26th day of September 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, President Jimmy Carter. President Carter.
The event was open to the public, but not everyone could attend. People have criticized the way the tickets were distributed, saying it wasn't fair. Tune in next week for my in-depth report on students' concerns. And if you missed the speech itself, it'll be aired right here on Q30. Check q30.org for details.
The State Department of Corrections has its hands full after Governor Jody Rell banned parole for Connecticut inmates. They will now review 5,000 parole cases to determine who has a violent past and who should be sent back to prison. Critics of the new plan say prisons are already overcrowded and worry the problem will only get worse. But Governor Rell says she won't jeopardize public safety by letting parolees return to a life of crime. It is not known how long the ban on parole will last.
Some boogied down in New Haven this weekend, and for a good cause. The annual Lymphoma and Leukemia Do-Up event, a 50s-themed fundraiser, brought people together to raise money for cancer. And Q30's Eric Tercio was there to watch it all go down. Let's take a look.
Here in New Haven is the annual Do-Up Cancer Benefit for Leukemia and Lymphoma. People from all over the community came out to show their support. Al Loro is a cancer survivor who participates with this event every year.
That's why we do this, because we want to be a part of a contribution that helps other people with leukemia.
Al says having a good attitude and friends to help is the best dose of medicine.
Yeah, you need that moral support. You really do. You have to have that positive attitude, because without that, it's like a medication. If you don't have it, you're a goner, really. You're a goner.
James Kimball, a director of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, says Al's efforts have made a huge impact.
He started this picnic with a wonderful committee made up of his friends and neighbors, and every year they've done it since.
A variety of entertainment took place, including Old Blue Eyes Frank Sinatra and country girl Ginger, who got the crowd tapping. Ronnie Rizzarbo is co-chairman of the event and says this benefit has grown.
First year here, I think we had about 180 people, and now it's grown to this.
Rita is a committee member who says she has good faith in the success of the event.
I believe in it. I've been here for as long as they've had them. The entertainers are great, the food is good, the people are great, it's a lot of fun, and it's for a cause that I think most people could relate to one way or another.
The people in New Haven have truly been a great contributor to the success of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Cancer Benefit. Reporting in New Haven, I'm Eric Tercio, Q30 News.
A Cheshire daycare center is coming under fire for alleged child abuse. 2 workers at the Pumpkin Patch Daycare Center on Highland Street are facing several charges. 23-year-old Erica Medina of Waterbury and 23-year-old Becky Wallinger of Cheshire are charged with risk of injury to a minor assault and breach of peace. Cheshire police are releasing few details. Medina and Wallinger will appear at Meriden District Court on October 4th.
Thousands of dollars were raised this Monday for the 3rd annual Ricardo Petrillo Memorial Dodgeball Tournament. I went down to the rec center to see how a game of dodgeball helps fraternity brothers and friends remember a life.
Organization and beyond. They came to find out more about fraternity life or just have fun, but more than anything else, they came to honor the memory of a QU student by playing dodgeball. The third annual Ricardo Petrillo Dodgeball Tournament was held in the Rec Center on Monday night. Sponsored by Tau Kappa Epsilon, the event celebrates the memory of one of their brothers who would have graduated this past May. Teak brother Phil Testa says dodgeball was very meaningful to Petrillo.
Every rush week we always had dodgeball with the brothers, and he always came in board shorts, sweatbands like all over his arms, makeup, like anything you can think of, and he was always the guy out there just going nuts. And he just really enjoyed the game and just having a good time with brothers and, you know, guys trying to come out to be brothers. And that's why we do this, especially during rush week too. It kind of keeps the essence in it also.
All that throwing and dodging raises money for the scholarship fund founded in Petrillo's name. This will be the first year scholarship funds will be awarded to an incoming QU freshman. Teak's Stephen Kopaleckia says the tournament keeps Petrillo on everyone's mind.
It means so much to me as a brother of Teak that, you know, SIGEP comes here and everything like that, and it's to keep Rico alive in any way possible.
This year's tournament raised a total of $8,000, and with numbers like that, it's pretty reasonable to assume that this tournament will go on for many years to come. Tony Fay, Q30 News.
In Newtown, state police are digging up clues in a case of a woman who disappeared over 20 years ago. 38-year-old Mary Bada Rocco disappeared in 1984 from her Sherman home. Her family believes she was murdered. Authorities are acting on a tip and digging up the Newtown backyard. Now, several cars were pulled out of the yard, and Mary's family hopes hers is the next one found. The Badaracco family refused to speak on camera, but they did release a statement saying, "This is the first lead in 23 years that could lead to physical evidence being unearthed. It is important we announce the current homeowner of the property where the cars are being dug up have nothing to do with the case. If you have any information regarding this case, you're urged to call Connecticut State Police at 1-800-376-1554.
Well, we're 5 weeks into the semester, and Q30 caught up with some freshmen to see how they're adjusting to life on campus. Let's take a look.
Since freshmen arrived here at Quinnipiac. For many, this is the longest they've been away from home. So how are the freshmen coping with the change? Julie Eritz talks about her experience of transitioning to college life.
I'm adjusting to Quinnipiac very well. The first week I was a little homesick, but I met a lot of people and a group of friends.
Tom Jackson, the freshman class president, felt otherwise.
At first, not really, because everyone was still kind of offsetting, but here at Dana, everyone always has their door open, and everyone's just kind of a big family over here.
Jake Bauer, a defenseman on the Quinnipiac hockey team, feels his teammates helped him adjust to campus life.
Being on a sports team, I had 20-plus friends coming in, and that kind of made it easier. They showed me around and kind of got me used to campus and all that.
Some freshmen took advantage of the activities offered here at Quinnipiac to get involved on campus.
I've joined a lot of clubs, and that definitely helps out with meeting new people. Joined some intramural sports and just getting active in the community.
Well, I'm doing the radio. I'm writing reviews for CDs, and I'm doing the environmental club, and we're getting involved in that.
For any student finding it tough to fit in, there is still time to find your place and voice within the Quinnipiac community.
Doing something that you enjoy to do will lead you to people who enjoy the same things as you, and you can end up having a lot of really good friends here.
Adjusting to a new environment can be hard, but after a month, the freshmen here at Quinnipiac seem to be getting into the swing of college life. This is Shannon Fox, Q30 News.
You know, Tony, I've been living off campus for 2 years, so I feel really out of touch with life on campus. So I'm interested to see how students are adapting to the new dorms that were just built.
Well, when we come back, our own Ellen Killian will find out more about that. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Hundreds of QU students are enjoying life in the New Village dorms, but not everyone can move in just yet. Q30's Ellen Killian has a story.
As new dorms continue to move up the hill, numbers are getting higher and students are enjoying new spacious rooms. Q30 talked to several New Village residents about their living quarters. Junior Joseph DePalma lives in one of the completed dorms.
I love it. I really do. I think it's probably the best dorms on campus. They're brand new, hence the name New Village, but yeah, they're awesome.
But not all New Village is complete. Sophomore Michael Stevens is temporarily living elsewhere while his building is still under construction.
I'm going to be rooming with 7 people when I move into the room, and I was only one out of all 7 of us that got placed away from all of my friends. So.
Stevens' roommate, Joe Smith, says their room should be done within the next month.
He said that we'll get an email within a week when it's going to be ready, but he said to work around October 20th.
They could tell you whatever they want to tell you, but it takes a long time.
While it seems that everyone we talked to today is excited about moving into their new dorms, New Village is still very much a work in progress. I'm Ellen Killian, Q30 News.
Between 15 and 20,000 protesters marched in the town of Gina, Louisiana last week to protest attempted murder charges against 6 black teens. National figures, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton, joined students and activists from around the country. The students, now commonly known as the Gina Six, allegedly beat a white student. Protesters said the charges against the Gina Six were excessive and evident of a racially biased justice system. Charges against 4 of the 6 have been since reduced to battery.
The Supreme Court will rule on whether or not states can require voters to provide a photo ID when going to the polls. Supporters of voter ID laws say they reduce the potential for voter fraud, but opponents say they're a form of intimidation. The court is reviewing an Indiana law that one Democratic Party strategist has likened to a modern-day poll tax. That law was upheld by a federal court and an appeals court. Similar laws have been upheld in Arizona, Michigan, and Georgia, but another one in Missouri was recently struck down. Some freshmen think they're getting a raw deal with their Dell laptops. Q30 took a closer look.
This past June, emails were sent to the freshman class encouraging them to purchase the required Dell Latitude D630 laptop for a vendor's price of $1,498. This price includes features such as the new Windows Vista operating system, anti-theft tracking software, and a 4-year warranty. Frank Villa, the manager of academic computing, explained the resources Quinnipiac offers its participants.
The STAR program, the program that I manage, has a subset of students called E-Stars who work in the dorms. So every freshman on campus has access to a student employee that is there to work with them one-on-one. If anything goes wrong, we can and will fix it.
While Quinnipiac does not benefit financially from the purchase program, they feel that by requiring students to purchase the same computer, they can offer widespread support in a way that would not be possible if the laptop models were not standardized. Students such as freshman Amy Kaufman declined Quinnipiac's offer and chose an Apple computer instead.
I have full coverage with Apple Care, which is comparable to the help desk service on campus. I have friends who have Dells through the laptop purchase program, and they're constantly going to the help desk, and I haven't had any problems with my Apple.
Apple's MacBook is equally priced at $1,498, also offering additional benefits, including both a free iPod Nano and printer, as well as a stronger graphics card to allow faster video and picture editing. So for all the Dell laptop buyers on campus, Quinnipiac offers many helpful resources, from fixing a virus to restoring lost files. As for those who buy a computer from a different company, they will have to turn to outside vendors for support. For Q30 News, this is Chelsea Naso reporting.
Thanks, Chelsea. Now let's find out what's going on around the world, and for that we'll go to our own Greg Clary. Greg?
Thanks, Tony. Yesterday, Buddhist monks protested against the Myanmar military. The protesters consisted of 35,000 Buddhist monks and an equal number of civilians. Myanmar's population is predominantly Buddhist. They marched through the streets of Myanmar's biggest city, Yangon. Military rulers have imposed curfews from 9 to 5 and have banned further gatherings. The government says the curfew will be enforced for at least 60 days. The international community fears the protests will continue to grow and it may lead to violence. China has called for stability, and the European Union has urged the government to launch political reform. Suicide bombing in Iraq's Diyala province killed 24 civilians and wounded a further 37. The bomb was detonated during the daily break-in of the Ramadan fast. About 800 people were in attendance at the time. One Shia leader is blaming al-Qaeda in Iraq for the incident. Among the dead are 2 guards of the Diyala's Shia governor. Bodies were recovered by families and funerals were held in the Shifta Mosque. The Diyala province has been a major front in the Iraq War. It has been a focus of the U.S. troop surge in Iraq. Japan has a new leader. The parliament installed Prime Minister Yasuo Fukuda. He replaces Shinzo Abe, who resigned for unknown reasons. Fukuda is a career politician who previously served as chief cabinet secretary under Abe's predecessor. He was considered a frontrunner in the 2006 election, but chose not to run due to his age. The 71-year-old leader is seen as a pacifist and is not an advocate for strengthening Japan's military. Let's go back to Alysis and Tony at the desk.
Thanks, Greg. You know, it's officially fall, but it still feels like summer. It's been so hot, but I don't know. I think I'm ready for some cool weather. What about you, Tony?
I don't know. Even I'm ready for it, and I pretty much like it hot. So when we come back, Amanda has the forecast.
Autumn officially started Sunday, but it certainly did not feel like it here at Quinnipiac, with temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above normal and humid, but it turned out to be a pretty nice day. Let's take a look at local temperatures. New London and Waterbury stayed close to 77, Meriden 79, Storrs 81, a little cooler towards the coast, Norwich 78, and New London 67. For a look at national temperatures, staying a little cooler up towards the west, 67 at Great Falls, 74 in Sioux Falls, 66 in Chicago, 86 in Washington, D.C., and 74 in New York. Now let's take a look at our radar. We have about a 30% chance of rain moving up within the next 24 hours, and that should hit Connecticut about tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, it's going to be 65, cooling off after all that humidity, a few clouds, winds south-southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it's going to be 85, mostly cloudy, winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Thursday, it's going to be 80, like I said, moving in with the rain. Friday, 75, moving into a gorgeous weekend. Saturday and Sunday in the lower 70s, moving into an even better week, cooling off low 70s. Now that's all for Q30 weather. Let's take a look at our entertainment.
Well, 24 fans, turn away because Kiefer Sutherland is proven mortal. The primetime star was charged with a misdemeanor DUI early Tuesday morning. Police say his breathalyzer test was twice over the blood alcohol level of .08. This is his second DUI in the past 5 years, and if convicted, faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 4 days in jail. Sutherland was released on a $25,000 bail and is due in court October 16th. And Snoop Dogg is dropping it like it's hot. He's back in the doghouse. The rapper pleaded guilty Thursday to 1 count of felony possession of a dangerous weapon. In September 2006, he was arrested after police discovered a collapsible baton in his computer bag. Snoop's attorney says if he doesn't violate the law after 1 year, his conviction will be reduced to a misdemeanor. He was ordered to make a $10,000 charitable donation in his plea deal and is sentenced to 160 hours of community service and 3 years probation. And the new Batman movie took an unexpected turn of events during production Monday. An unidentified special effects technician for The Dark Knight was killed. His camera truck crashed into a tree. Star Christian Bale and the rest of the cast were not present, and no filming took place during this time. Warner Brothers released a statement expressing their condolences. Filming is expected to begin in Hong Kong in early November and is set for release July 18, 2008. That wraps it up for entertainment tonight. Back to you, Tony and Alysis.
Well, with the changing leaves and the expected autumn chill in the air, it's time for fall sports season again.
Let's check in with Justin Cohen, our sports anchor, for more.
Well, it's been a tale of 2 seasons for one Bobcats team. We'll tell you which one right after the break. The Bobcats men's soccer team continues to improve on its already record-breaking season. The Bobcats last year finished with only 1 win. They're 4-0 on this season, and they're only one of 6 unbeaten teams in the country. They are also one of 2 teams to have no losses or ties. The other, number 1, Wake Forest. The Bobcats were ranked 4th in the last Adidas NSCAA North Atlantic Regional Poll. Junior Graciano Brito is the nation's D1 leading scorer and also is 2nd in the country in goals scored through 4 games this season. The Bobcats face Canisius on Friday at 4 p.m. The women's soccer team is also off to a fast start. They defeated Siena 5-2 Sunday to win their 5th straight. The Bobcats scored all 5 goals between Siena's 2. Sophomore Sarah Lawler scored 2 for the Bobcats. Sophomore Susan Donovan also netted 2 tallies. She had an assist on one of Lawler's goals as well. Donovan's 3 points were enough to name her Brine NEC Player of the Week for women's soccer. On the other side, Quinnipiac field hockey faced their toughest opponent Tuesday. The number 3 ranked Yukon Huskies made the short trip from Storrs for the annual meeting of the 2 intrastate rivals. The Bobcats got off to a slow start, and goalkeeper Jenna Grossman allowed 4 goals in the first half. She would allow 2 more before being pulled in favor of Amanda DeLuise. Lindsay Leck scored 2 for the Huskies, and Christian Janluski netted the hat trick for Yukon. The Bobcats hosted the QU Invitational for cross country this weekend. The Bobcats won the team race in both men's and women's. On the individual side, Quinnipiac's own Kristen Stevens took first place with a time of 18 minutes and 8 seconds. On the men's side, Tom Brown of Northeastern took first place. Senior Jake Gersler finished second at 27 minutes, 6 seconds. Junior young Jack McDonald finished close behind in third at 27 minutes, 7 seconds. And one final note, the Bobcats women's soccer team will celebrate their 20th anniversary Friday at 2 p.m. 20 years ago on September 24th, 1987, they faced Iona in their first ever contest. The then Braves won 6-1. The Bobcats will face Iona again in the special contest. A ceremony will take place before the game. And now back to Tony and Alysis.
Thanks a lot, Justin. It certainly was a nice day outside. It was a little too warm, though, don't you think?
It was extremely hot. And, you know, it doesn't feel like fall, but I tell you, I know we're 5 weeks into school, but all my concentration is on fall postseason baseball right now. You know, it seemed like 1 second, my team's the Red Sox, it seemed like 1 second we were up 16 games, and now the Yankees are inching back, so it's just a lot of tension. So
it's just a little too bad, but keep in mind, I too am a Red Sox fan, Alyssa. She seems to think I'm from New York for some reason or another.
It's the hair.
Yeah, you know what? I think it is the hair. I think it is the hair. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week when Jen Hall and Eric Tercio will be reporting.
Good night.